I need to confess something that will change how you see breakups forever. I've chased men who rejected me, men who broke up with me, men who said they were done and moving on. But when they did these 5 specific things, I couldn't resist going back. Even when I swore I was over them. Even when I told my friends I'm never talking to him again. Even when I was already talking to someone else. There's a psychological formula that makes women return. And most men have no idea it exists. After 8 years of dating disasters and making every mistake in the book, I'm about to expose the exact 5 behaviors that made me chase men I had rejected. So you never have to beg for anyone to come back again. Because once you understand female psychology during breakups, you become irresistible. Female psychology and radio silence. Before I reveal the 5 behaviors, you need to understand something crucial. Women don't leave relationships the same way men do. When we end things, we're not just walking away from you, we're testing you. We're watching to see how you will respond. Will you chase us and prove you're weak? Or will you do something that makes us question everything? I've ended relationships with 5 different men, and every time I was secretly hoping they'd respond in a way that would make me reconsider. Here's what most men don't understand. When we say, I need space, or I think we should break up, we're not necessarily done. We're creating scenarios to see what you're made of. We're going to see if you'll panic, beg, or fall back, or if you'll do something that makes us think, who is this man? The psychology behind female regret is simple. We regret losing something valuable, not desperate. Most men become desperate the moment we pull away. They text constantly, show up unannounced, try to explain their feelings. Every single desperate gesture confirms our decision to leave. Let me be brutally honest. Not every man gets this right. Let me tell you about the software developer I dated for 3 months. When I broke up with him, he did all the wrong things. Called me 47 times in 2 days. Showed up at my apartment with flowers and apologies. Posted sad quotes on Instagram. Sent me a 5-page email explaining why we belong together. Every single desperate plea confirmed I'd made a right choice. He became more unattractive with every message. That's why I need to show you the exact opposite. Raise your hand if you've ever been that desperate guy. If you're like me in my early 20s, you probably have. We've all been there. If you're starting to see the psychology behind this, hit subscribe, because I'm about to reveal strategies most women will never admit work on us. 1. Complete radio silence. Not, I'll give her space for a few days. Not, I'll wait a week then check in. Complete. Radio. Silence. Here's exactly what this looks like and the timeline that actually works. Let me tell you about the gym guy. A personal trainer at my local Equinox who smelled like expensive cologne. When I broke up with him after 4 months, I expected the usual phone calls, texts, attempts to talk things over. Instead, nothing. Day 1, I felt relieved. Day 3, I started wondering, why hasn't he reached out? I checked his Instagram. A gym selfie, no sad caption, no cryptic message. Week 1, I was checking his profile obsessively. I even created a fake Instagram account to make sure I wasn't blocked. I accidentally drove past his gym 3 times. Week 2, I asked Sarah if he seemed okay. She said he looked happier. That stung. Week 3, I was literally driving by past his apartment complex, hoping to see a look at him. The internal monologue? Why isn't he fighting for me? Every other guy at least tried. Did I not mean so much to him? Did I make a mistake? My mind was racing. Every notification, hoping it was him. But it never was. His silence was doing what words never could. It was making me chase him in my own mind. Most men think they need to explain why we should be together. Explanation is the enemy of attraction. Silence forces us to convince ourselves why we left. And if we can't come up with a good reason, that's when regret sets in. 3 weeks into his silence, I cracked. I texted him, "Hey, how are you?" He responded 6 hours later, "I'm well. Hope you are too." That was it. No emotion, no desperation, just calm, detached politeness, like I was a distant acquaintance. And it drove me insane, because I realized he was handling our breakup better than I was. Radio silence works because it shifts the power dynamic completely. When you chase, you say, I need you more. When you go silent, you say, I'm perfectly fine without you, and we can't resist a man who doesn't need us. But radio silence has rules. You can't break it too early. You can't be mean about it. And when you do respond, keep it brief and polite. No contact for minimum 30 days. No response for at least 6 hours. Never explain your absence. 2. Visible improvement. The second behavior that brought me back? Visible. Self. Improvement. Not post sad quotes. Not feeling sorry for himself. Actually becoming a better version of himself. Let me tell you about my coworker X from marketing. We dated secretly for 8 months. After our breakup within 2 weeks, I started seeing him at 6 a.m. company gym, at networking events, posting about certifications on LinkedIn, talking with people he barely knew. He was glowing, but he wasn't doing it for me. No obvious thirst traps, no petty moves. He was just growing. The psychological impact on me? Devastating. I expected him to look miserable. Instead, he looked like he was on fire. I refreshed his LinkedIn profile. I walked by past his desk. I panicked. Did I give up on him before his glow-up? Women can't resist potential, progress, self-betterment. When you improve yourself, it triggers fear of missing out. Not just on who you are now, but who you're becoming. To start, genuine hobby within 48 hours, document progress without showing off. Focus on skills that increase attraction. Never mention your ex. We can see performative growth from miles away. 6 weeks after, I texted him about a work project on Slack. It was a lie. I just wanted to talk to him. Not because I missed the old him, but because I missed who he was becoming. 3. Social proof and new connections. The third behavior that made me run back. This one gets ugly. Not rebound relationships, but showing that the world valued what I walked away from. Let's talk about the musician. I dated him 6 months. A bass player, effortlessly cool. A month after I left, I started hearing things from mutual friends. He's doing great. He's funny again. He's social. I see him in every mutual Instagram story. I hear about the girl at Revolution Coffee. I see him at our favorite record store. The worst part? He wasn't even trying. He was just being himself. And suddenly I'm viewing him through the lens of scarcity, not guaranteed access. I was seeing him through the eyes of other women. Women don't like feeling they let go of someone others adore. And here's the psychological warfare. When you're isolated, we feel validated in our decision. When you're social, we lose our sanity. 2 months later, I texted, think I have your guitar pick collection. Lie. I just wanted to see him. Social proof works because it shows how valuable you are to the world, not just to her. 4. Emotional indifference. The fourth behavior that made me back? Complete emotional indifference to the breakup. Let's talk about my college boyfriend. Pre-law, gentle, intelligent. When I left, I expected devastation. Instead, he said, I understand. I wish you the best. That's it. No drama, no meltdown, no negotiation. It wrecked me because I started thinking, did he ever care? Was I replaceable? 3 weeks later, I see him at Starbucks. Friendly, distant, like a classmate. Not someone who said he loved me. I confronted him. How are you handling everything? Him. Everything? Me. Us? The breakup. Him. Oh, that. I'm fine. These things happen. I went back to my room and cried. Not because I missed him, because I felt invisible. When you stay emotionally neutral, we feel like we didn't matter, and that's what makes us crack. We'll text, how's your mom? Not because we care, but because we want you to think of us. We'll post thirst traps, create drama, just to get a reaction. My college boyfriend, never engaged. Polite, neutral, brief. The key to pulling this off? Respond briefly, politely, never mean, never cold, but never emotional. Don't hurt us, just don't need us. 6 weeks later, I called crying, did I ever mean anything to you? Him. Of course. You're a great person. I hope you find what you're looking for. Still calm. Still indifferent. That's when I realized I lost someone with actual emotional maturity. someone who left with grace, and I wanted him back. 5. Building a better life. The fifth and most devastating behavior that made me want back the guy from the wedding. 6 months after our breakup, I saw him at Emma's wedding. He was incredible. His body, his confidence, his friends, everything about him screamed thriving. He walked up to me. "Hey, you look beautiful. Hope you're enjoying the wedding." Then he hugged me and left. No stare, no drama, just warmth. I watched him for the entire reception, confident, friendly, present, and I couldn't stop thinking, he's better without me. Not fine, better. Like I might have been holding him back. Maybe he didn't just survive me. Maybe thriving was his natural state after leaving me. I couldn't eat for days. I kept replaying every laugh. 2 weeks later, I texted, "You seemed really happy at Emma's wedding. Glad you're doing well." He responded next morning, "Thank you. Hope you are too. A period. A period." That's when I realized he moved on. Not just from the relationship, from needing me at all. 3 months later, I texted one last time, "Would you like to grab coffee?" He said, "Sure. How about Thursday at 2 p.m.? Neutral, casual, indifferent. When we finally met, I asked, "Do you ever regret anything?" He said, "No. If we hadn't ended, I wouldn't have become who I am now." That's when I realized the truth. The behaviors I'm sharing with you, they work. But they work not because you're trying to hurt us, but because you're not trying at all. They give you back yourself. And by the time we want you again, you've discovered you don't need us anymore.